Material security. The issue was really highlighted in President Obama's Prague speech 2009, in which he drew attention to the dangers of nuclear materials getting either lost or stolen or misappropriated, which was, to his mind, the present and imminent danger. He framed this in the context of nuclear terrorism, which of course has gained traction after 9/11. We may agree and we may disagree, or we may disagree with President Obama's uh, designation of nuclear material security being the present and imminent danger. But there is no doubt that there is an imperative need to gain control over this nuclear material lest it fall into the hands of either rogue governments or non-state actors who could use it for their own purposes. Now, it's not all that easy to make nuclear weapons, and particularly for a non-state actor to be able to manufacture nuclear weapons. Nor is it very easy for non-state actors to use these nuclear materials uh, to prepare any kind of a radiological dispersal device. The danger, therefore, is of that nuclear material, to my mind at least, being used, or possession of the nuclear materials being used for purposes of blackmailing governments. So this is a kind of a danger which nations are not yet sensitized to, but could very well happen if non-state actors were to gain control over dangerous nuclear materials. Question is, what is the world doing about it? And I would say that again, going back to what President Obama had felt, he was instrumental in having or calling the nuclear security summits to which heads of governments were invited to think about this problem. And there was the first nuclear security summit that was held in Washington in 2010. The second was held in Seoul in 2012. And the third will be held in the Netherlands next month on the 23rd and 24th. Now, these summits are important, and India has also been joining the previous summits. And I do think that there is a role for India to be played in this particular summit. And the role that it could play is to draw attention to the fact that although there is a lot of importance that is being given to nations being transparent, to nations placing their nuclear facilities and installations under safeguards, to bringing their nuclear materials under some kind of state control, and being transparent in this regard, and also having regulatory authorities to see what is happening in their nuclear programs. There is uh, another danger to which I think India should sensitize the Nuclear Security Summit, which is that there are some nations, I don't need to name them, that might have joined uh, all these arrangements, and they may have joined various international agreements to bring their nuclear materials under control. They might be having regulatory authorities to uh, survey and supervise their own nuclear installations. But in practice, they have been indulging in clandestine transfers of nuclear materials. And apart from the usual suspects, I would like to draw attention to the Western powers that have had no compunction in uh, in, in entering commercial agreements with countries like Iraq, countries like Iran, and so on, to transfer nuclear materials to them. So I feel that as far as India is concerned, this is one issue that they would certainly bring on the agenda in the upcoming nuclear security.